Good afternoon. Happy Monday. This is your girl Love Wisdom. Remember that you have the winning hand. Play it accordingly. If you're thinking of a master plan, never tell people your blueprint. Always show them your results. Well, weather report, the nor'easter seems to be dying down, although we have very high winds. So I decided to work from home as a safety precaution. Um, where I work, it's about maybe a 20-minute drive to New York City, and it's a 30 to 35-minute drive from my home to my place of employment. And I have to cross two big bridges to get over. And it was not the best move to attempt to go to work. The gusts are like, it was 60, but it's down to like 52, 52, 50. And it's not a good idea to be driving on a high, big bridge. So I'm at home today. But I do hope that those who have to work, I hope that you guys got to work safely. And I hope you get home safely. Take your time. There's no need to be need for speed. Just take your time because it's still wet. The winds are still howling. So please be very careful on your way back home from work or whatever business you need to handle for the day. I do know that the coast, especially around the beaches, they got hit very hard with coastal flooding and some erosion. Um, some flood prone areas got flooded pretty badly. There was some down um, branches, but thankfully there was no casualties. You know, folks rode it out as expected. So that's just a little weather and safety report. I was listening this morning on my IG feed on my morning break, and it's a dark skinned black woman talking about, has colorism faded away or did it go underground? And she was mentioning what was called peak colorism in the early 2010s. So I'd say between 2011 to 2016, it was a time where people felt very comfortable to be overtly and blatantly colorist. You know how bigots now under the Trump administration is very comfortable in being overtly and blatantly bigoted? That was the same with colorism during the time frames that I spoke of, specifically Twitter. There were celebrities, whether they were rappers, actors, athletes, comedians, even down to regular people just being openly colorist. Dark skinned black women were called roaches, gorillas. I remember the late Triple X Tentacion had said that dark skinned bitches' pussy looked like a burnt hot pocket. It was just all sorts of colorism, whether it came from Cardi B, her sister Hennessy, Hazel E., Kevin Hart, even the late Stefan Robinson, who said, dark bitches bring dark days. I don't want nothing black but my Xbox. It was this constant barrage of colorist jokes and commentaries and memes. And whenever it was addressed, the rationale was, it's not because you're dark skinned, it's because you were either ugly, you had an attitude, or you just didn't look a certain way to be considered attractive. Colorism crybabies, dark skinned women are always complaining about something. Um, it's not that serious. Oh, you're taking it the wrong way. Dark skinned black women during that time were gaslit and trolled. And even when you try to have nuanced conversations, people would just blatantly be obtuse. So her question was, has colorism faded from the black community or did it go underground? And I would say it's a mixture of both. I won't say that it's necessarily fading away, but I do see people being more mature in the conversation, specifically in calling out dark skinned black women on, I'm going to say our because I am a dark skinned black woman, right? So I'm going to definitely going to include myself in this. A lot of dark skinned black women love to be the shield for light skinned black women, mixed race black women, and black men that are colorist. Like dark skinned women will join in and be colorist to be accepted. Dark skinned women will play obtuse and say, oh, it's not that serious. For example, Kayla Nicole, when she was hit with criticism for grinding up on Chris Brown at his concert, she came out basically saying Chris Brown is a nice guy. He's not a colorist. Kelly Rowland, who's a dark skinned woman, came out and said, Chris Brown is my brother. Leave him alone. He's not colorist. So you will have dark skinned black women be the savior for colorist men and colorist women. Even with E. Kane, who is a very popular TikToker who said some very disrespectful things about dark skinned black women, dark skinned black women stepped in and defended her. So the colorism conversation is maturing where, okay, dark skinned black women, you are talking about colorism, but every time we look up, we see you protecting and making excuses for these people. Which one is it? Is it really about colorism or is it about desirability? Is it really about desirability or is it your internalized colorism? So I think the conversation is maturing in that direction. I also see that dark skinned women are becoming more aware of our beauty and our uniqueness and starting to play our own game. And I said this before. The problem is dark skinned women are playing a game that we are disqualified from by default. And when you continue to capitulate to a society that has already ranked you in a certain way, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do, society is going to keep you on that vine because that's where they put you. There's already a curation of you. The best thing you can do is acknowledge it and create your own game. And creating your own game means, listen, I have just as much rank as anybody else. I am unique. I am beautiful. Whatever affirmation you want to put about yourself, I see more dark skinned women doing that and not caring and being so caught up in what society thinks of them. What we're seeing, shout out to Chrissy, is corrective promotion amongst dark skinned black women. So we're seeing ranges of dark skinned black women, comedians, models, nurses. We're seeing the corrective promotion of showcasing dark skinned women in different facets, right? Showcasing the features, the textures, the shapes. We're no longer boxing ourselves into looking a certain way. That's also a breath of fresh air because no one is going to promote us the way we promote us. So we really want to put ourselves out there and to change the narrative. It's up to dark skinned women to do that. Meaning we have to confront our own internalized colorism. We got to call out other dark skinned women who do that. And we have to promote. We got to promote. We got to flex in our complexion. I forgot the name of the young lady who, she was a child. She got to be about 18, 19, or probably even 20 now. Her name is on the tip of my tongue. Beautiful dark skinned girl. And she created this company flexing in my complexion. She had shirts and all. And it was really about letting dark skinned women know you're beautiful. Stop letting society tell you that you're not attractive. You understand what I'm saying? I see that. I see more dark skinned women just having the tough conversation amongst themselves and with other dark skinned women, getting down to the root of things. Another thing that I am seeing is dark skinned black men acknowledging how colorism has affected them. Now, this was very interesting because oftentimes the ones that are making the disrespectful, disparaging comments against dark skinned black women are dark skinned black men. They are the main ones that will tell you you're just ugly. It has nothing to do with how you look. You're a colorism crybaby. Get over it. Because with dark skinned black men, as long as they're the center of attention, that's all that matters. So trying to have empathy for your counterpart, right? The opposite gender who is going through the same thing, but worse, it doesn't help where you are leading the band on that. And there were dark skinned black men who were having a candid conversation about growing up, how they were called disparaging names by their mothers, by black girls in the community that they liked because they were dark skinned. And they kind of grew up feeling worthless, feeling that they weren't attractive. And the first girl or woman to find them attractive was a white woman, a Latina, an Asian. And they become what I call latchkey swirlers. Like that one particular group of people gives you a compliment and it's like you were joint to the hip with that person. That group can do nothing wrong because they was the first person that made you feel good about yourself. And I find that to be very refreshing that you're hearing dark-skinned black men come out and express their experiences with colorism. For example, the actor Bill Duke. You guys remember him on Menace to Society where he was the detective and he was like, you know you fucked up, right? Bill Duke has said a while back the reason why he would never have children. And he said because he didn't want the children to look like him because they will experience what he had to deal with as a dark-skinned black man. So I say the scales is coming off of people's eyes when it comes to colorism. People are being more nuanced and more empathetic to what's going on because, again, if you want to get rid of the disease, you got to first get rid of the symptom. Okay? You know how they do when it comes to cancer, you got to cut the tumor. You got to cut the tumor, you got to burn it off with chemotherapy. You got to get rid of the cells so it doesn't metastasize and attack organs and eventually kill you. That's colorism is like a cancer that needs to be cut out, that needs to be burnt out, right? Before it metastasizes. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the plus side of colorism, the conversation changing. Now the downside is it has gone underground because colorism is now preference. It's color. A preference is a respectable way of saying colorist. It's not because you're dark skinned. I just think light skinned women are better. I'm more attracted to white women, or, whether you're a man or a woman, whatever the case may be. preference is being used as to not be seen as a colorist. You know what I'm saying? But your action shows us who you prefer. And preference isn't necessarily a bad thing. The problem is the dishonesty, the backhanded compliments that go along with preference. Right? If you say, for example, I like light-skinned women. I like them light. Long hair, thick, red bone. That's all I want. Does that make the person a colorist? It can. That's all they prefer. Right? That's who they want to be with. They've never been disrespectful about it. They just said that's who they prefer. So people say, all right, that's a preference. Go about your business. The colorist aspect comes in where it says, I like them long hair, thick, red bone. Beautiful black queen, the bitch better be red. That's a colorist statement. Because you're saying you'll deal with black women as long as she's light skinned. You see how the preference and the colorism kind of like the lines blurry. And that's the downside. Because colorism has gone underground. They just call it preference. Yeah, I just like them light skinned. I just like Latinas. I like Latinas. Latinas are spicy. They do it better. Because you black bitches always got something to say. Colorist. But then you say, no, that's my preference. That's how people get tied up and get tricked into that. It's also going underground because people don't want to get fired from their jobs. People don't want to lose endorsements or lose support. Let me bring Chris Brown into this. Because Chris Brown has been known to say colorist statements. Okay? Yet Chris Brown uses dark-skinned black women whenever he needs to make a buck. So at his concerts, you had this beautiful dark-skinned black woman on, I call it the Summer Jam screen. And she was aura. You look at the comment section and you look at dark-skinned black women. See, I told you he liked dark-skinned women. I told you he liked us. Dark-skinned women are so fucking quick to cancel out all the other shit he said just because you have a dark-skinned woman on the Jumbotron. Right? You got Kayla Nicole grinding up on him. Right? You have dark-skinned women paying $1,000 to take pictures with him. But then you had a dark-skinned woman say that they had got VIP tickets and a pass to see him and his management team, which Chris Brown oversees, mind you, denied her access because she was dark-skinned. So on the offset, I'm using dark-skinned women. I'm using dark-skinned women to be my face. I love you all. I love black women. But behind the scenes, you can't get in here because you too dark. It's gone underground. It's hidden. It's covert now. Oh, it's a preference. Yeah, she's on the Summer Jam screen, but you can't come backstage. It's almost like for advertising. Let's say, for example, in Miami, right? You're advertising the grand opening of a new club on Collins Avenue, right? South Beach. And you see all these beautiful women. You might see 3 dark-skinned black women. They're for the ad. Now when it's time for opening night and you see dark-skinned women, right? Body is tea, gorgeous. They're told to move to the side and everybody else gets to go in the grand opening of the club. But the advertisement had us up there. That's how covert it's gotten. Like, well, on the offset, we accept everybody. But on opening night, no, you move to the side. And it has happened to dark-skinned black woman earlier this year. She went to Miami to get into a club, and she was not allowed in because she was dark-skinned and she was thick. And you had dark-skinned black women talk about some, well, you are a little chunky. Like, look at you. You do look a little ghetto. And this is something that dark-skinned black women have to stop doing. Whenever you get that little trigger for that internalized colorist, you got to be able to say, bitch, get out the way. You can't let your intrusive thoughts win, because think about dark-skinned women as a whole. You can't complain about what you entertain about colorism and then become a colorist yourself. Because this is how the quote-unquote pretty dark-skinned girls get their nigga wake-up call. Oh, I'm pretty. I don't struggle like you bitches struggle. I look good. I'm pretty. And then come to find out you can't sit at the VIP section because you dark. And now all of a sudden, I don't understand. What you mean you don't understand? You thought because you looked a certain way, your features looked different, you thought they wasn't going to overlook your skin. See, dark-skinned women have to understand that. It don't matter if you got Western features, African features. I don't care what features you got. People are going to always look at your skin. And there's already a curation on top of dark-skinned women's heads when it comes to that. You're angry, you're violent, you're hypersexual. You are a noob cybot. Okay? That's it. And while we're trying to break that and break those barriers and say, no, I have just as much right and rank to be in this world just like you, we gotta stop putting chains around our ankles and around our minds about how we view dark-skinned women in ourselves. So in conclusion, the good news is that the conversations are becoming more nuanced. It's becoming more mature and empathetic. People are acknowledging that it's going on. Shout out to dark-skinned women. Shout out to us, because it took a long time. It's a labor of love. But we actually are getting the conversation moved in a different direction where it's supposed to go. Shout out to the women, who sacrificed. Shout out to Rashida Strober. Shout out to Chrissy. Okay. Coco Cuties. Like, shout out to the dark-skinned black women, Paris Milan, who, listen, they sacrificed. All right. A lot of work got put in to steer the conversation. Now we're getting there. We're calling it out, but we're doing it from a different standpoint, not from a space of anger, but of a space of acceptance. Like, you know what? Okay, I know who I am, and I'm going to set the tone in this motherfucker, whether you like it or not. I'm proud of us for that. I'm proud of us for calling out other dark-skinned women who want to be the protectors of colorist people, who want to be colorists themselves. Yes, we're calling them out. But at the same time, we still have work to do when it comes to our self-esteem. And we still have to have discernment not to let people play in our face and say, yeah, I like dark-skinned women too. I love y'all. Y'all are beautiful. But then when it's time for it to really work and really matter, no, you can't sit here. You can't come back here. We have to pull our support from those types of people. Okay? Yeah, I think Chris Brown is a great dancer. One of the best in our time. I think he's great. I think he's a great singer. But is he someone that I would support and give my money to? Absolutely not, because he does not like dark-skinned women. And he has said some pretty horrific things about dark-skinned black women. So, we can keep doing it, keep having that self-esteem, keep having that confidence within yourself, because you got it. All right? Again, you are the magic. You are the plug. You got the motion in the ocean. So do the damn thing. And I'm out.